Some shockers last week in the FA Cup and Champions League, and MLS preseason is in full swing. Welcome back for another episode of A Soccer Fan Walks Into a Bar. Diego and I are here for a special Valentine's Day episode before a busy holiday weekend, so sit tight and hang out. All right, happy Friday, Diego. Happy Valentine's Day.
What's up, buddy?
What's going on, man? How you been?
Good, better though. I was a little under the weather, but thank you. Thank you, God.
You and me both.
Yes, but no, luckily, it's all in the past. We're ready to talk soccer.
Apologize to our audience for the slightly longer delay. About a week and a half without a show here, and we missed you. Don't worry.
Oh, yes, we did, and it was a health hiatus, so it was just for the better. We didn't want to perpetuate all these viruses going around. We didn't want to get anybody sick at the brewery, so we just took a break, and now we're ready to go. And, I mean, I'm a little surprised. There's a bunch of Colombian players that, I've been following because things are happening everywhere.
Listen,
everywhere. I mean, it's crazy.
We won't cover it this week, but John Duran has been lighting it up in Saudi Arabia.
Yes, indeed, sir. He's been excited.
It's been super interesting. I have my own feelings about the Saudi League, and we'll just leave that there. But he has been doing extremely well in his short time there.
Yep.
After leaving Aston Villa. So, good for him there. Let's jump right into it. We have FA Cup to cover. Leyton Orient. And this is the beauty of the FA Cup. These smaller clubs, these lower level clubs, get to play the big boys.
Yeah.
Leyton Orient went up early, a 16th-minute own goal. It was classified as an own goal. It was an absolutely beautiful goal.
Yes.
From probably 35, 40 yards out.
Yes.
Off the crossbar into Stefan Ortega. So it did result in an own goal, and then Man City came to the good in the second half.
They did what they were supposed to.
Goals from one of their new signings, Kushanov, and Kevin De Bruyne closed it out in the 79th minute. So Man City will, let's hold off on who they're going to play because we have some other shocks within that. So
yes, indeed we do. Holy.
Moving over to another one of our supporters group, Seagulls on Hudson, had what has become a very big rivalry in years past. Brighton and Hove Albion against Chelsea at Brighton. Obviously, we all are aware of Caicedo and Cucurella and Graham Potter, and I'm sure there's a couple, Robert Sanchez, the goalkeeper, that have gone directly from Brighton to Chelsea.
Absolutely, yes.
A 5th minute, again, an own goal from the goalkeeper for Chelsea off of Verbruggen, and Brighton came to the good as well. We've talked about it in weeks past.
Yeah.
Ruder and Matoma both scoring. This is probably the third time in their last 5 games that they both scored.
And they really, really need those two players to play peak soccer right now. You know what I mean? This result was a great blessing for them.
It was.
It stopped a little batch of losing games,
their league
difficult
form has
matches.
not been great. So to see them advance against Chelsea, who, as we'll talk about later, they play Chelsea again now in about 30 minutes. Yeah, 30 minutes. It'll be another good test for them.
Yes.
And maybe this is a confidence builder that they needed to make their push to the end of the season.
Exactly. And we like to talk about this, pivotal matches that, can change your season. And, like you said, this long-term, multiple tournaments, years for all these teams, those are the things you need to cling on to, you know what I mean? These little results,
no, I agree.
What I mean? Back-to-back wins against the same team, doesn't matter.
Yep.
It's going to be a good look for you.
So next round, Brighton will travel up to Newcastle.
Yes.
That match will be, they actually just, I don't know if it was today or last night, released the actual match schedule.
Yeah.
So they will play on Sunday, March 2nd.
Oh, wow. Okay.
At Newcastle.
We're going to be showing it here.
Oh, yeah.
So come over.
Furthermore, this is kind of not a team we do a great deal of coverage on other than, disasters. Aston Villa at home against Tottenham. Villa came away with a 2-1 victory, and
again,
more
Tottenham
piles on Ange.
That's why we talk about it, because
Yeah,
of Ange.
exactly,
See
exactly.
what happens, you know what I mean? We're still on that soap opera of is he going to go? Is he going to
So
stay?
yeah,
You know, well, go ahead.
no, I was going to say the self-professed. I always win a title in my second year, and the FA Cup is now out.
Yeah,
So,
out of the question for him. And like that's the thing, he just keeps getting these one or two results that gets people hopeful.
Yeah.
But it's just not working. It
Right.
doesn't seem to be working with him. I think they need to start thinking about the long term here. And a little rebuild, maybe not a full on rebuild,
right.
but
I mean, yeah,
get a
it's just-
couple new players, maybe a coach. I
So
don't know.
they're out of the FA Cup.
Yeah.
They're out of the League Cup. They are 30 points back of Liverpool in the league.
Yeah, no, that is no. That's what we're saying. This is a new year.
So,
It's a
in
rebuilding
all honesty,
year.
with 30 points back, there are 14, if my math is correct, 14 matches left. They always say never do math live on live on the radio, but
But this is one match
they
that
are
we can comfortably
they
do.
are almost mathematically eliminated already from winning the league. Which
Yeah.
again, nobody thinks they're going to win the league anyway. But come early to mid-February to already
It's,
be nearly out of contention.
It's a tough situation, especially for a team like Tottenham. They got the name. They build up the name over these past few years. So to go back to the bottom of the barrel, it's a tough situation
Yep.
for them and their fans.
They
We'll
they
see.
did. I'll give them some credit. They did. Where am I? They are into the next round of Europa League, so they do still have a chance at a title. They
Out of
can
something.
they can get some silverware, but
Yeah,
the league, anything domestic is.
But let's not
all
get
but
that
forgotten.
confused on them turning any corners or
Oh, yeah,
anything.
no, no,
This
no.
needs to be revisited. This whole situation needs to be addressed fully. It's
Yes.
not just, okay, we maybe get the Europa League and what? What does that even mean at
Right.
the end of the day for them?
No, I agree.
It's not going to change anything. It's just little, little, what do you call it, Band-Aids
Yes,
that you
yes.
can pretend to
So
give to your fans. But no,
here-
it needs
here's
to be done.
a question that I have then, as you're mentioning all that. Do we, and when I say we, I mean Tottenham, do we go for incoming player transfers,
Yeah.
or do we go for a new manager?
A little bit of both. You need a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I mean, the players don't seem to be playing well together, first of all. And yeah, that stems from coaching and everything. So maybe you take advantage and try to make one or two moves with the
Yeah.
players that you can. Maybe you try to get some equity with young blood coming into
Right.
the team. Maybe some support players that you can count on and build up out of. But the coach needs to be changed. It's just not happening.
Yeah, I mean, for
It's
what
a
it's
reality,
worth,
it's hard and
most of the
everything.
players are backing Ange. I'm trying to look, as we do this live, on how long his contract is for, because Daniel Levy and Tottenham are pretty famously frugal.
Yes.
So to pay out a severance package and bring in a new manager is probably not within their wheelhouse.
Yeah.
But time will tell.
Yeah, but I mean, we are all about, and here you and I always talk about that. If you got your players' confidence and trust, there is always something that you can salvage out of
Yeah.
it. But I don't think this is one of those cases. I mean, yes, he's very loved by his players and everything like that, but he's just not getting results.
Yeah.
He's not being able to come up with something that is going to take him to that next level, or just steady up the ship, or
Right.
stem the bleeding. Nothing is happening. You're just not getting the results. Yes, your players are playing for you, but maybe sometimes because of your players, you need to realize yourself that you need to step away and give them a chance with somebody else and tell them, listen, it's not you guys, it's me. One
Yeah.
of those breakups.
Yep. No, I'm with you. All right. So elsewhere in the FA Cup action, we had Plymouth Argyle hosting Liverpool. So we go back. We were talking about Leighton
Wow.
Orient. Plymouth hosting, arguably
Yes.
the best team in the world right now.
Yep.
And Plymouth Argyle came out with a 1-0 victory.
And this is why these tournaments are
Yes.
so beautiful.
And this is, to go back,
Yep.
what we all talked about with the U.S. Open Cup and the big teams aren't playing in it anymore. This is why you want those big teams.
You want 'em, yeah.
You want these giant killings. You want the drama. You want
Yeah.
the best players playing in the events.
This is what creates great storylines. Absolutely.
So a 53rd minute penalty from Ryan Hardy was all that Plymouth Argyle needed.
That's it.
I believe they only had 2 shots on target the whole match.
Yeah.
Although I think Liverpool only had like 3 or 4.
No. They played. They played.
It was a
They
very
did a great job
cagey
messing up that
defensive
game.
match. Exactly.
No. They Argyle did a great job
So-
just mucking up the field.
Exactly.
They just ran their butts off.
Yep.
They did not stop. They defended that goal with literally their lives. And I mean, on the Liverpool side, they are blaming a little bit the players not taking the game
Yeah.
too seriously. They're blaming my boy Lucho, which I'm a little upset about, though. But he is having a little rough time right
Yep.
now. Salah, but I believe it's because Salah is playing so good.
Yeah.
Salah is just playing incredible right now. He's taking the team on his back. But, when Salah tends to start playing that good, he tends to hug the ball a lot.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it
And-
was an issue with Sadio Mane back
Yeah.
then. It was an issue, a little bit with Firmino.
Yep.
So this is not unheard of
Yeah.
from Liverpool.
Exactly. When Salah takes the reins, and he wants the ball all the time. And at the beginning with Luis, Luis was fine with it. You know what I mean? It was fine just
Right.
being the guy in the back, waiting for the rebounds and everything like that. But the game has changed over the time that he's been there. So, like, now he is in the Mane situation, you know what I mean? That he's the one getting the ball a lot. So now when you get the ball taken away from you, you can't contribute the way you contributed before. And it's not that Luis is not willing to step back and say, all right, you take the ball and I'll just back you up. But now the fans and the commentators are trying to put too much blame on the situation on him.
Right.
And it's just not that. It's just you got to recognize that the dynamic of the team just changed. That's all. That's all it's happening. It's just a defeat against a team that is 2 or 3 leagues below you, kind of like accentuates all these situations. But I think that it should be all right though.
Yep. So, all that being said, congrats to Plymouth Argyle.
Congrats
And
indeed, though. They did well.
Their reward for beating, again, arguably the best team in the world right now is to travel to Man City.
And go,
in the
go
next
do it
round.
all over
So-
again.
So, I mean, listen, this will be a financial
Excuse me.
boon, for Plymouth Argyle.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, the prize money that goes with advancing to the next round, on top of playing in a stadium that's going to have 50,000 people there, they will get a portion of those gate receipts. And that's the kind of thing that will, for some clubs, need that to keep afloat for the following year.
Oh, no, absolutely. Teams like this, absolutely.
So that will be a huge impact for the city of Plymouth and the club and
100%.
everything that comes along with it. So again, kudos
Yeah.
to them. Great
Absolutely.
result. And listen, obviously we have a Man City supporters club right upstairs.
Yeah,
I would love to see another Plymouth win.
that would be nice. Not even going to lie. Yeah, exactly. Nothing against our Man City fans, but it's a great storyline. Cinderella stories always make for good content.
For sure. So let's jump out of order a little bit. Rather than go into Champions League stuff, I want to stick with the majesty of the FA Cup.
Amen.
So we'll skip over to our cherries on top portion. AFC Bournemouth did travel to
Yeah.
Everton. And
Got through it.
2 first-half goals, a penalty from Antoine Semenyo, and another goal, kind of off a janky goal from Daniel Jebison, who was recalled on loan from Watford after the injuries to Unal and Evan Nielsen.
Yeah.
And a 2-0 victory for Bournemouth in the last ever FA Cup match at Goodison Park
Oh,
before
no
they
way,
move into their
really?
new stadium. So
Oh, wow.
Bournemouth will now, on Saturday, March 1st, will host Wolves, which is another very winnable match for them.
Yeah, but it's a tough one,
Nothing
though,
is
like-
guaranteed in the FA
Yeah.
Cup. The only, I shouldn't say the only, but one kind of good thing that, Bournemouth has going for them is Wolves are only 2 points out of the relegation zone right now.
Yeah.
So they need to
They need to focus
they
up on
need
the
to
league.
put their eggs in the league basket.
Yep.
On top of which, Bournemouth play Wolves in the league that week also.
Back to back as
So
well.
it'll
we're
be
having another Brighton Chelsea situation.
Exactly. It'll be another back-to-back, matchup for the two teams.
Nice.
So, do you favor the FA Cup versus the league, or do you put all your eggs in the league basket?
No.
I'm not saying for Bournemouth. I mean from a
Wolves
perspective.
Wolves has to focus up
On the
on,
league,
what the league is giving them.
And obviously there will be a couple more matches between now and then. So, the league table will have a little bit of clarity. So just to give you a little bit of insight.
No, still.
Southampton, who actually, oddly enough, Bournemouth play this weekend, they are dead last, dead to rights on 9 points. Ipswich on 16, Leicester on 17, and then Wolves on 19. Just above Wolves are 3 teams at 27 points. So they are 8 points away from moving up to 16th. But the real battle is between Wolves on 19, Leicester on 17, and Ipswich on 16. So that's 3 teams for 2 spots that I should say 3 teams for 1 spot. To stay
exactly.
in the Premier League.
No, they have to focus up on that. It's not even a matter of a choice or discussion.
No.
The cup is the cup, and on another teams, we're talking about this situation that the only way to salvage their year is trying to get that small hardware. You know what I mean?
Right.
But not in this case. In this case, they're playing their lives on the bottom of the table, so they have to focus up. So if they're gonna bring their A game, it's going to be for the league match. It's not going to be for the cup match. So like you said, it might be or it should be a winnable game for Bournemouth.
Well, and it doesn't look great. I'm just looking at the Wolves fixture list leading up into that match. They're at Liverpool this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're at Bournemouth in the league. Then they host Fulham, who is in 9th place.
Yeah, they're not having easy matches.
And then it's back at Bournemouth in the cup.
Exactly. It's not going to be easy. And I mean, let's say it's hard to get that Liverpool win. That's going to be a difficult match to have.
Let's write that off as a loss.
Absolutely.
Obviously, I'm as bullish as you can be on Bournemouth. So let's say they lose at Bournemouth in the league. Home against Fulham is maybe a draw.
Yeah.
So
it's a drawable game. Exactly. Winnable. I'm not gonna say it's winnable, but it can be a draw.
So 1 point from their next 3 matches does not look good if Leicester or Ipswich start picking up some points.
Exactly. So I will believe that the real match that we're gonna see between Wolves and Bournemouth is gonna be the league one.
Yeah.
That's the one that they're gonna really put in the effort on it. Whether they win or lose it, Bournemouth has got a good chance on the cup to advance to the next round, which is what we're discussing right here at this point. You know what I mean? But let's have some faith on the Bournemouth. And listen, if we can end up in the top 10 and win that cup, that would be a freaking amazing
I was just talking to the producer of the Premier League show.
Okay, yeah.
I've been on a couple of times. I said, to be in a situation where we have 2 very solid avenues to qualify for Europe.
Yes,
is incredible, unheard of based on the last 3-4 years ago.
Absolutely.
And where the club is now.
Listen, so. I wanna be able to believe that we have a little bit of part of this.
No, not a little bit. It's all us.
It's all us, baby. It's all us. Getting in that bandwagon, baby, is making.
Speaking of
happen,
which, just a quick little side note: AFC Bournemouth did just introduce. I don't know the exact handle, but an American-based Bournemouth Instagram account. So,
let's go.
I want to say it's.
Let's check it out. Let's find it.
Sorry we'll take you behind the curtain here a little bit as I look through my Instagram. It is AFCB in USA.
Okay.
So
there you go.
So if you are one of our loyal supporters, whether it's here or for Tyler or just the club in general.
Absolutely.
Look out for a lot of new content from
subscribe and follow
from AFCB in USA.
Okay.
And we have reached out.
And now that is all us, my friend.
Of course.
We open up that door around here, and I am very proud of being doing that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. So now we can get back to where we originally were going to go in Champions League.
Yes.
Um,
yes.
So this is, again, we're in uncharted territory here this year with the new format. This is what some are calling kind of a play-in knockout round.
Yes, that's basically the concept of this.
So
They're taking a bit of American pages
right
here.
right not a ton of surprises in results.
No.
The one that we'll cover obviously is Man City. They hosted Real Madrid at the Etihad, and they were up twice and managed to lose. So I think overall, I kind of mentally predicted a 3-1 win for Madrid.
For Madrid, yeah.
So I'm not surprised by the result, but the fact that they squandered 2 leads
Yes.
again on a couple mistakes from Ederson
And
and the back four
Exactly.
and the defensive midfield. It really is falling apart at the seams.
And that's
for
the story
Pep.
that's the story with City. The City that plays well is always latent. They're always right there. We always know that they can put up a good match. It's just that lack of concentration.
Yeah, I mean,
it literally is that. It's
Man
just those
City
moments
2-3 years ago, this
you
game
blow.
when you're up 2-1
You don't
in
lose
the
that
80th
thing.
minute, not only do you not lose it, you probably wind up winning 3 or 4-1
Yep.
because they don't take their foot off the gas.
No.
They keep going.
And they take advantage of the mistakes
And
of the
they-
other team
right,
trying to come back on you.
So-
It's not the way nowadays. Nowadays, once you're winning, that's when they're the most terrified.
Not only that, but I
Like
think
it's just the most vulnerable.
I think a big part of this is, it reminds me of Rocky IV.
Yeah.
When
Wow,
when
nice
Rocky
analogy.
when he first makes Ivan Drago bleed,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, he's a human.
Yeah,
Like
I can do this.
I can
Yeah,
do
yeah,
So and that's kind of the mentality that I see from opponents of Man City. I mean, we said it how many times that like they walk off the bus and they've already won that match because of the aura, because of the talent that they have, because of the style of play that they do.
That's what it used to be like. Absolutely.
And now that is gone.
No, exactly. Nowadays, when they're winning, is actually irrelevant.
Yeah, they
It's
are
irrelevant.
a good top third of the table team,
Yeah.
but they don't have any of that je ne sais quoi.
Exactly. Well, like we talk about it, like the games that you're supposed to win, sometimes you win by 5 goals.
Yep.
Yeah, we had a 7-0 victory a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
And we have all these crazy results that when you look at them, you're like, so where is this team when you play the other top of the table teams? You know what I mean? Like, no, this is what's supposed to be all the time for us. That's what they, like you said, that's what they got us used to seeing when it comes to the City, but not anymore. Now you got a team with hierarchy just as much as you or an aura that just as big as yours, and those are the games that you can't control anymore. And that's where you're number 3 or number 4 on the table in your league, and you're qualifying barely through all these seasons. But once you get to the top, you can't handle it. So at the end of the day, that's the reality with City. City's not a team that should be on the 3rd or 4th place. Team is they're a team that is supposed to be first.
Yeah, no.
And if you're not first, quoting the great Ricky Bobby,
You're
you're last, baby.
All right. Well, on that great Talladega Nights note, let's take a quick break, and we will be back for 100 Miles to Home, guys. Stick around.
Cheers.
All right. Welcome back to A Soccer Fan Walks Into a Bar. We got Diego here. I'm Dave. 100 Miles to Home, our coverage of all things
Back
American
to the
soccer,
area.
as local as possible. So we have actually a great combination this week of nationwide things as well as hyper-local. So for those of you that didn't see the news, nothing is set in stone, but the MLS is highly considering, and they'll do some research, they are going to consider changing the calendar to mirror the European schedule after the 2026 World Cup that will be hosted right here.
That's so good.
Yeah, you know what? My initial thought is it's great. I spoke to some MLS people in the last week or so about the pros.
What do
and,
they
The
think?
pros and cons of it. I think overall it's good. I was talking to a pretty high level scout who we'll be doing an interview with in a couple weeks actually. But I was talking more about the finance of it. With the way transfers work, it becomes very tough for MLS teams. We generally lose a lot of MLS players to Europe in the summer when we're in the middle of our season.
Yep.
But also on the flip side of that, it's generally a lot more expensive for us to bring players in January in the MLS offseason. So
Because it's the middle of the season
right,
everywhere
so
else.
so you're going to have to pay extra to
be able to
take
get those
away a
people.
guy in the middle of his season.
Yep.
So he agreed on that. Where the obstacle comes is with South America. We've talked all year long about how the MLS has become a launch pad for
South American players.
Colombians, for
Absolutely.
Paraguayans, for Uruguayans,
Yep.
for
That's
Colombians, for
100%.
Venezuelans.
South and Central
Yeah.
America. This is their platform. Yeah.
Right, but right now, a lot of those countries play Apertura and Clausura, but they still have that off season in the winter when
With you
although
guys, yeah.
it's their summer, but the off seasons kind of align a little bit better.
Yeah.
So if we flip to the European calendar, how does that impact those transfers now?
It might be a little tough, but money-wise, it's more profitable and it's better for everybody to
It's a very
fit Europe.
interesting
though.
dynamic.
You know.
And then on top of that, you also have, and this just popped in my head as we're talking, you have guys like Ryan Reynolds, and you have, so you're starting to get money into Mexico and Central and South America.
Yep.
And these owners don't necessarily have to sell these guys. So if we flip the schedule and we're trying to bring in players from South America now in July,
Yes.
is it going
Was
to
it gonna
cost
happen?
extra? Are they going to be willing to release those players?
Yes, but whether it costs extra or not, the difference in prices are abysmal between one and the
Right.
other. When you're bringing a European player over here, you're paying euros. You are technically saying that these players are coming from bigger, better teams. The price tags are so much bigger that when you bring a guy from South America, you're usually bringing the guy on a loan. You're not buying the guy outright.
Yep.
You're not really,
Or at least not right
transferring-
away. It's a
Exactly.
loan with an obligation or an option.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So those things are a lot more flexible than coming from the other side
no,
down.
it's a good
So
point.
that's the launch pad is not really going to change too much because these players are wanting to come here. And now that you mentioned that, and that was something that maybe I wanted to mention on the one for the road, but we're
No,
here,
well,
so
whatever.
let's throw it out.
Okay.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia are buying a lot of South American players, and they're not just buying them from the teams; they're buying them from like their schools.
Yeah.
There is a bunch of 16, 17, and 18-year-old kids that have been just bought without being playing in any
Interesting.
professional team. They're just going straight out to the Middle East. They're going out there. They're training them on their teams, and they're becoming a farm-based type deal on South America.
Right. Yeah.
So if that's going to be happening, the other teams that want to compete with this and get those potential superstars from South America, they're going to have to accommodate this situation.
Yeah.
So in between the tournaments, it's not going to be a big deal because they're going for the younger players.
Okay.
They're not really going out for the professional players already established. They're going
So
for the
that's a very good take on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I obviously was not aware. I
There is the
don't follow much of the Saudi Arabian league, so to have that insight
Yeah, that-
definitely gives me a different
right
perspective
now,
on things.
they have the two best Colombian players on the under 18 are actually going to Saudi
wow.
Arabia right now for the Al Hilal and what's the other big
You have Al Nasser. you
Al
have-
Nasser, Al Nasri and
That's
Al
where,
Hilal.
I think that's where John Duran went.
That's
right?
where John went exactly. So they are showing a lot of interest in the youth of the South American team. So maybe that's not really good. I don't see that affecting too much. And I actually see it as a plus that America is kind of like fitting in with the FIFA schedules instead of being that place that is separated from all this.
Yep.
And it's just creating too much problem. So it might help develop the MLS even better.
Yeah, well, time will tell. It'll be
Amen.
a cool dynamic. The more different perspectives I get on the MLS season,
Yeah.
whether it's weather, whether it's competing with the NFL, whether it's the transfer windows.
Yes, absolutely.
I kind of hem and haw back and forth on whether we actually need to go to the European calendar or not. But
No.
again,
It's just
it's
worldwide.
a decision well beyond our pay grade. So
Absolutely. That is very true.
all right. So elsewhere, hyper local, we have some Hudson Valley Hammers news. We welcome the newest USL League Two men's coach, a former
Let's go.
teammate of mine, actually.
No way.
Yeah, we played together in college. Colin Hodge.
We got the inside track, you say?
Yeah.
You say we got the inside track
Yep,
on the US?
I've known him for 20 years, something like
Nice.
that. But yeah, so we played together at SUNY Ulster. He went on to Dominican when I went to Manhattan.
Okay.
He played there for a number of years. He coached there for probably close to a decade. He was most recently a coach at USL League Two Manhattan Soccer Club.
Nice.
He's back up here. He's got one of the highest licenses you can get in the country. All around great guy. I'm looking forward to sitting down with him in a more intimate setting like this, and
Absolutely,
we'll
yes.
shoot the breeze and talk soccer and talk Hammers.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, let's talk
so-
to Dale and him. Maybe we
So
can bring him back together.
Yeah.
As
Colin,
as a little
congrats.
unveiling.
We'll obviously be seeing a lot of you.
Absolutely.
As the season ramps up, rather, and
Nice.
good luck. So
Yeah, no, best of luck to you, and hopefully we're going to make this team grow.
yes. All right. So what's on tap? Our weekly coverage of all the watch parties we got. We
We have a few only.
Yeah, with the holiday weekend and obviously now we got some impending weather coming too.
Mm-hmm.
We went more with quality, not quantity.
Absolutely.
So in about 45 seconds, actually, we have Brighton hosting Chelsea in the league now. Brighton just beat them in the FA Cup.
Yep.
That is today, 3 p.m. And then tomorrow morning, we have a split-screen doubleheader. 10 a.m. Man City Newcastle,
Yes.
which could be a very interesting game. Man City currently sit 5th and Newcastle 6th. They are both joint on 41 points.
Yeah, no, this is a big match for sure.
And not to jump the gun on the other half of that, other half of that split screen. Bournemouth travel to Southampton. Bournemouth only 1 point behind both Man City and Newcastle.
Yeah, no, this
So-
like we said, quality over quantity, my friend.
A draw between 5th and 6th place Man City and Newcastle, and a win from 7th place Bournemouth
Jumps
jumps
on,
them
baby.
right into 5th place, and
Yeah.
potentially, if Chelsea can, or rather, if Brighton can get the job done pretty handily and a Bournemouth win, we could be in 4th place for Bournemouth.
Even if it is for a week or two, man.
Listen.
These are great things to happen for Bournemouth. Great things.
All right, so one for the road. You already mentioned your one thing with Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, no, it came
Anything
out,
else?
but yes,
Okay.
no, that
All
was.
right, so what I have is another very interesting
Excuse me.
development from American soccer. The USL, United Soccer League, of which Hudson Valley Hammers and the newest team, Westchester Soccer Club, are both
Okay.
a part of. They plan to launch their own first division league
Okay.
in direct competition with the MLS.
Ugh.
So
So-
time will tell, how that comes off. Will they introduce promotion and relegation within their, cache of clubs?
Yes, of course.
I've seen some reports that eventually, it'll be like an AFL, NFL kind of merger and buyout.
It makes sense.
We'll see what happens, but again, kudos to the USL for trying to make this work and trying to
Absolutely.
continue building on what we've got here for American soccer. So,
100%. No, it's a great idea. I mean, healthy competition is the name of the American game
As
anyway.
always, as
So
always.
at the end of the day, if either of them works and can help boost the other one or both at the
Yeah.
same time, a merger down the road would have been a bad idea. And, this is the way those things happen. So,
For sure.
let's grow American soccer. And,
Let's grow, and
we'll be here for it,
and
too.
let's go. So that'll do it for us this week. Thank you guys for hanging out with us on this special Friday.
Yep.
Don't forget to throw us a follow, Instagram, Facebook. Obviously, all these are syndicated to YouTube as well with video.
Absolutely.
Blue Sky, Discord. Send us an email. We are starting to introduce a brand new app that'll be, obviously
Yes.
catching more traction as we go.
Yeah, if you are part of our email list, check those emails.
Exactly.
Sign up to the app and
Yep.
all that.
So the app, if you aren't on our email list, the app is called Chant, CHANT. Give it a look. It's a really cool app, and
Yeah.
I think it's definitely fits a need that we have here in America for supporters clubs of European and South American and American soccer
Yeah,
clubs.
absolutely. And it's a chance to be able to communicate with different people
Right.
in different states, coordinate things, and grow the community, which is what we are trying to do here as well. So, by the way, Discord. Please
Yes.
start engaging us on Discord. You know what I mean? If you're seeing this, share it to your friends, show them the Discord. Throw us ideas, send them matches that you
Yep.
guys want us
wanna
to watch.
something, let us know.
We got a couple of suggestions for the Italian league.
Yes.
So, if you guys want to watch some Italian soccer, we're willing to. We just need to know that there is going to be a reception and, a people for it. So, keep up that Discord, start building it up, and communicate between us.
Right. It's Diego and I here, but it all comes from you guys. So thanks again for a
Absolutely.
great show. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you either in the tap room or on the next show next week.
Be blessed, y'all.
Cheers, guys.